But anyway, now you want to talk about Andrew Tate. Like,
That's your boy. You style yourself
my boy,
like him.
exactly.
Your twin.
I haven't got a choice.
So, what colour's your Bugatti?
Yeah. Did you hear that? Apparently, like, kids have been asking teachers in school.
That's so funny.
Like that. To be fair, that made me laugh.
That's very funny.
That is funny. Like hearing that they.
We spoke about Andrew Tate before on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we both said kind of similar stuff where he's just a guy, and the internet has this way of taking somebody who is just a person, and fandom has this way of taking somebody who's just a person, whether it's a singer, actor, celebrity, whoever, and making them larger than life, crazy. Do you know what I mean? Even like X is a good level of celebrity where he's not super well known, but he's well.
D-list ones or something.
You call him a D-list celebrity.
I would never.
Call him a D-list celebrity.
Unbelievable. X, check your friends.
But going out with him, like if you're in a certain environment in the area that he's from, he's very well known.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But he's a good level of celebrity.
Yeah.
I think above that, people do really deify certain people.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw with Andrew Tate. I've seen it with Kim Kardashian, I've seen it with Andrew Tate. A lot of my issues, I don't know Andrew Tate personally, obviously. I don't know what the situation is with his legal stuff or whatever. But I saw a comment, when he got arrested for this people trafficking thing, I saw a comment on a YouTube video which was really disturbing to me. And the comment said, I don't care if he's guilty or not. At the end of the day, he's helped me with a lot in my life. And that's all I need from him. And I thought, that's super fucking dangerous.
What that?
If he was trafficking underage women, that's a dangerous logic to take. That if somebody has motivated me in my life and made me feel good, it doesn't really matter what other bad stuff. I'm not saying Andrew Tate's guilty, we don't know. What other bad stuff this person has done because they make me feel okay. I think that's a super dangerous thought process to have.
It is. You're just basically ignoring anything outside of like you've basically put them on a pedestal, and anything that anybody says or evidence that comes to light that shows that they could be someone that they haven't shown you, you're just ignoring it. You're just
this is why I like this is what I love about the I don't want to go too deep into philosophy and psychology because most people are bums and they'll switch off, but this is the thing about like some of the stuff that we were talking about with the comic books and some of their characters and stuff is what is right, what is wrong. And how a lot of the bad guys feel like they are the good guys in their story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They don't see themselves as the bad guy. They see themselves as the good guy. And I do have a conspiracy theory about Andrew Tate, but I'll let you react to him being arrested. What thoughts?
First of all, I don't think it's that big of a surprise that he has been arrested because he said I've heard him on podcasts say I've committed multiple felonies. He said on there that he went. Like, he hasn't got any assets, like houses and mansions and whatnot in the UK, because, like, then if you've got those assets, they can take things from you. They're not necessarily... He was talking about, like, ownership of stuff. He's like, do you really own it? So he was talking about why he chooses to live in Romania. That's his base of operations, to avoid the law, essentially, and not and keep a lot of himself liquid in the sense that he can move and go to and from places without too much struggle.
Which a lot of rich people do.
But like, if you're going on podcasts and you're explaining your decisions in life to live in Romania, to avoid the law, and then shout out, I've committed multiple felonies, like, you put a target on your back. Like,
one of the things he said that I didn't like, because obviously he says some stuff that I just think, some of the stuff he says I think is pretty obvious. And I think we see this generationally is that some information is repackaged and resold, right? So let's say, for example, you have Hollywood actors. Every generation has their Hollywood actor who's the pretty boy turned bad boy. Do you know what I mean? You might have James Dean in the 60s, maybe someone else in the 80s, someone else in the 90s, someone else in the 2000s. And it's the same character regurgitated, right? So, and this is what a lot of people do. Most of us don't come up with new information. We're covering Andrew Tate. Every other podcast covering Andrew Tate. It's not new information we're gathering. But I think that he's more of a character. Do you know what I mean? And so some stuff he says, I'm like, ha, that was funny. Some stuff he says, I'm like, ha, that was a dickhead thing to say. It's just he's a person and that's just people. But the one thing he did say that's kind of disturbing is he was like, I live in Romania because it's a lot harder to get prosecuted for rape. And then he said, not that I'm...
Did he actually say that?
Yes. And he said, not... And then he said, I'm not saying I would rape anyone. I'm just saying I like living in a country with freedoms where you can do what you want. And I thought, I like living in a country with freedoms where I can do what I want too. I'm not sure I would have picked that as an example.
Yeah, I think
that example was a bit over the top.
It's almost like he let something slip.
I don't know about let something slip, but I mean, some of my friends are religious. We talk about morality. We talk about all this different stuff all the time. They're religious. I'm an atheist, and they say, "Oh, well, where'd you get your morality from?" And I said, "Well, my within myself. If it was legal for me to rape people, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't need God or the law to tell me not to do something to not do it. Now, there's some stuff that's illegal that I may well do. Do you know what I'm saying? If it was totally legal, but that thing isn't one of them.
Yeah, rape just seems to be. Yeah, I saw a thing on another podcast. Like, there was actually a tweet like back in October.
Yeah.
Someone who allegedly works in law enforcement that predicted him going to prison late 2022 and early 2023.
Yeah.
And they talked about it. I think it was on Fresh and Fit, and the guy on there.
Can't stand for it.
I know, but like the guy on there did actually work in law enforcement. And
in Myron.
Yeah, apparently he worked in law enforcement.
I struggle to believe that, but currently.
You don't think he did?
I struggle to believe anything they say.
Okay, but like, so they were talking about the incident. I don't know if this is what you got arrested for. I actually don't, like, because it's alleged human trafficking.
Yeah.
But apparently, they were talking about how a girl was at she was with Tristan Tate essentially, and she was in their apartment, and obviously she was cheating on her boyfriend. Like, stuff was obviously going on, but she didn't. His like thought of what was going on was that she didn't want to admit the truth, so she's said that she was kidnapped and basically raped. But apparently there was footage of her leaving their apartment and returning with pizza. So it's like, I obviously we don't know the facts. We don't know if he's guilty of what he's accused of. But like, is it not weird that a girl's gone out of the apartment, gone out of the premises? If she was kidnapped and you were really in danger and you've been let free, why would you go get yourself food and come back?
Yeah,
but then to be fair,
some women are assholes.
Yeah, well, this is if that's true, I don't know. I'm just from information I've gathered from listening to various things, is that if that's true, then I would be more inclined to believe that they're not guilty of anything that they've been. But you don't know, because like he could have said, "Go out, bring the people. Like, we've got power. Like, you ain't going anywhere else. We'll find you."
You're saying
you know what I mean?
That on its own doesn't prove that what she said isn't true.
Exactly. So I'm from on the surface, it looks like her going out, coming back.
Because they've had this before, where somebody said there was a video of him slapping a girl. And the girl come out and said, "Oh, we play like that in the bedroom. It's not that deep." Do you know what I mean? And there tends to be this. I think for me, my conspiracy theory, like I said before, is that I wouldn't put it beyond them to do it to themselves for a start. And I think we don't know the details of how they make their money, right? We heard that there's like girls involved, webcam companies, etc., etc., etc. I've been involved in that industry. I know they make good money, etc., etc. The sex industry and the people trafficking industry are intermittently linked. They are. I'm not necessarily saying about Tate individually, but I'm just saying those two places where there's money, where the women are a commodity and you can make money, there will always be people that are going to kidnap and force women to be in this line of work. So that can happen. Whether it's them individually, tangentially, or not at all, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? To me, they're just guys. At the moment, all I know is that they're guys, make good money, living life, doing content. All of that I have no problem with. I have no interest. You know, whatever they want to say, they can have their own opinion, that's fine. If there's something illegal going on, especially with regards to forcing women into sex work or trafficking underage women, then that's instant red card. For me, I'm not gonna, you know, there's no discussing. I know man's go to jail for selling drugs or whatever, and I'm like, do you know what I'm saying? I know selling drugs is technically illegal, but it's not really something, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, we can have these conversations. But if that stuff there's no conversation to be had, as far as I'm concerned. I think, I hate women.
Yeah. As it is, like, without anything being confirmed, there's some stuff that Andrew Tate said that I don't disagree with. I would agree with it. Like, you know, when he talks about how men find young, attractive women who haven't had a lot of sex with, like, multiple men attractive, I don't think that's out there, is it? Like, it's probably quite a common opinion.
But again, it's packaged for a new generation. He's packed. The second part of my conspiracy is that they might have done it to themselves because everyone's talking about them, ourselves included. Not that we have a big reach.
No, I know, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the second part of my conspiracy theory is that they are just, because I don't know how they make the money or whatever, but they're just social media influencers. And it's just that there used to be guys that rapped who were from the streets, and then there's a whole generation of guys that rap that aren't from the streets, but they play the character. And these guys may not be the mafia linked drug dealer gang. They may not be that, but they can pretend that they are.
They've
Whether
got
the
the
money they're
power,
making
yeah.
is legal or illegal, they can start to move towards making legal money because there will be books that come out about these guys. There will be endless podcasts that want to have them on. There will be. Do you mean so? If think about a guy who starts rapping and builds an entire rap persona, and then think about a guy who does exactly the same thing, just in the world of social media.
So you think that?
I think it's possible.
You think it's possible that this whole thing could be fake to sort of build publicity and
Imagine me and you. I don't know how they got their initial capital, but imagine I win the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I win 1.5 million. Not loads. Me and you we go to Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah. And we pay for podcasts. We start going on all these different podcasts, all this kind of stuff. We've got cars. We start coming up social media. You know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We've got loads of girls around us. Whatever. We've got pictures of me and you starting out in the gym. Pictures of us here starting up the podcast in a small flat. Pictures of us at football, etc., etc.
Yeah.
We can build the story from point A to point B however we want.
Yeah.
We can say, listen, I went to Dom and I told him, quit your job, let's start a business, let's start this, let's start that. 2 years later, we're millionaires. Job done. Do you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I can tell people I made this money however I want, especially if it's not true. I can tell people whatever. I can tell people, listen, back in London, we used to sell drugs and you know what I mean? We hit 2.5 mil. We came out here because there's no drug laws out here.
Yeah.
We can make up the point A to point B story however we want.
It's kind of
we can manipulate as much as we want. Then I can be in Dubai and say, go to Nick's apartment. There's cocaine in there. The police come. Happen to be on Instagram Live. Everything gets clipped. Yeah. It's perfectly safe because there's no drugs here. And we can. I'm not saying that's definitely what happened, but it's just a little in the back of my mind. I think how much of anybody's story is what they tell you that their story is.
Well, that was what was going through my head, because there's loads of people who are in positions where they are influencing people's lives, and they could inflate or they could have got like a lucky break, like maybe they got a massive injection from like a cash injection and that really helped them, but they could sell the story that, oh well, I've always grown up being a bum, but I believed in myself, I did this, that, the other, and
just
then
that, you know Charlie Sloth's vodka company, AU Vodka. Do you know who the owner is?
No.
So fucking random. Do you remember the ball boy at Swansea that Hazard kicked?
Yeah.
That's him.
He
owns it.
He owns.
Yeah.
His
dad was already rich.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
his dad was already rich, but in fair play to him, their companies, like he built the company himself with money from his dad.
Yeah.
But to your point, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
It's the ball boy.
Which is just, it's kind of mad because like anything could happen that you get like a lucky break, but you can completely
or not a lucky break.
Or not.
50 Cent's whole 50 Cent's one of my favorite rappers. His whole branding early on is I was shot 9 times. That on its own isn't luck. That's bad. But he can spin that to be a positive for him. If you read the book 48 Laws of Power, definitely read that book. It's about how you can take weaknesses and spin them to be positives in your worldview. So rather than, if he gets caught, let's say he was saying some stuff on some podcast that was outrageous before he was big, rather than walk it back and say, guys, I apologize, no, I'm going to build this as my brand. I'm going to go forwards with it. Do you know what I mean? 50 Cent's an arsehole on Instagram to everybody, but he never apologizes because everyone knows he's like that. That's been his image, and that's his persona from the beginning. So 50 can say stuff about women getting old or looking ugly or being past it that other people couldn't say.
Yeah.
Because 50 showed a meme about Meg the Stallion lying, and then it got found out in court that she was telling the truth. 50 will not apologise for that because he's always been that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you insulate yourself with being, this is who I am, and you the same thing I said to you about the podcast. I'll start out like an arsehole, so I never have to not be an arsehole in the future. If anything, I act like more of an arsehole than I actually am. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that. No, but I tried.
What can you do?
I don't know.
But it's just, like I say, it's just a conspiracy theory that I have. But I wouldn't be, because of the world of social media and how it is, it wouldn't surprise me.
To be fair, now that you mentioned it, I'm just trying to think of
people even say about Mark Goldbridge. People say Mark Goldbridge was never a United fan. He was actually a Nottingham Forest fan.
Yeah, he gets cussed about that all the time.
But so at some point, and obviously I'm just talking about someone who can turn on the camera on the internet and build an image from scratch.
Well, the thing with Mark Goldbridge, he doesn't actually have pictures of him when he's younger with United tops, but that could just be
there's pictures of me in Newcastle tops.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think I had a Chelsea top when I was younger because my cousins all supported Chelsea. I don't worry. It's better than Tottenham shirt. Isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So like, I was just gonna say, like, just because you have a picture of you as something, you know, when you're younger, it doesn't necessarily, like you're saying, the truth that you know is the picture at the beginning and what it is now. Anything in the middle can just be spun.
I got a picture of myself with a slash down the side of my face, from some madness, but nobody knows where that slash comes from.
Yeah, you could have like hit your head on a
I can invent
or
whatever story I want for the sake of that picture.
And
I mean, so if I want to go out and rap and go, I was in the streets and I was doing this and I was doing that, and people go, you were in the street, go, look at this fucking picture, this is me, I got slashed and blah blah. Do you mean like you can really create whatever you want to create from positions of power and from positions of weakness. Yeah. And so regardless, their marketing and their branding stuff is insanely good. Yeah, well, insanely good. Yeah, insanely
like,
good.
Even with the social, because you had a similar conspiracy with the social media blackout thing, where they were like they took him off
100%
everything, and it's like as soon as that happened, everybody was speaking about him.
Listen, back in the day in America, there was old black guys that used to be like, this is like just after slavery, and they used to go around preaching like they were all about the building of upstanding black communities, and they weren't. They were drug dealers, and what they used to say is one day, because I'm telling you all this kind of stuff. The powers that be, are going to come for me. They're going to come for me. They're going to take me away. And when the police eventually found out they were big drug dealers and took them away, the black people started defending them because they were like, no. They told us you were going to come and take them away. Yeah. So if you know that they're closing in on your whatever it is that you're doing, you can get ahead of it because it's court of public opinion. Do you know what I mean? You can go, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'll start telling people the Matrix is after me. They're going to close me down. They're going to blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? Because I even see a screenshot of Andrew Tate at a hotel in Dubai, and there's a steward there, and he's got on high vis, and on the back of the high vis it says Matrix, and somebody's posted it saying, and they're being serious, they're not joking. Somebody has posted it saying the Matrix was watching him all along, he knew, blah, 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 blah. They're at the Matrix Sports Centre. It's the name of the sports centre that they're at. This isn't... Yeah, but that's where, like, I think there's sort of... That's when their fan base is a bit delusional in the sense that they're choosing what to believe. Like 100%. they're not researching the facts. They're just kind of like, oh, I told you. He told me that the Matrix was going to come get him. Like he said this would happen, and it's true. It's happening. It's like, mate, have you just done a basic search? Just gone to Google and just fucking checked out. Like even checked his location on the image or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know. I think. With Tate, I do think he's... Because I didn't really know... When he was a successful kickboxer, I didn't really know about him. But now he's just kind of blown up to this character that, like, everybody's... Exactly. He got the social media character, not first, not in terms of timeline of his life, but in terms of timeline of how we know him. He's got the social media character first, and then he tells you about all the wins after. Similar to, like, Gary Vee. Yeah. Remember, nowadays, people don't take Gary Vee super seriously, but they did a few years ago. And Gary Vee popped up as this super successful businessman, and no one had ever heard of him, and then he would tell you all about the wine company that he started, and blah, 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 blah.
Even that he was saying that lies was fun, though. He was saying that people were writing about it. Okay,
that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, do you know what I mean? So once you get that perceived success, because none of us knew, he was not known in the wine world, do you know what I mean? But once he got that perceived success, he can spin the story backwards however he wants to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's, but I also think, Tate, I just think smart in the sense that, like, things that will get clipped up and blown up in today's social media age are the things that like will cause controversy. Yes. I feel like he's just a figure of controversy. Like he will say the mad shit, regardless of if he really believes it or not. I think he will just say stuff that will basically grind people's gears and like just really trigger someone, because then they're going to start talking about it, and then that causes someone else to respond. And that's it. Like he has managed to build almost the perfect, like he doesn't care who his fans are, because the reality is anybody speaking about him is a win for him. Correct. And that's why I think like that whole social media scandal could potentially be planned by him, and then this, I don't know, because the rest is different. Like who cares? If you've previously been arrested, you've never been arrested before. Yeah. If you've previously been arrested before, and if you've been arrested multiple times, you know how the legal system works. You have no problem getting arrested for something that you know that you didn't do.
Yeah. Well, even you know the people, there was all those stabbings on like Boxing Day and all that. Like the people that have been arrested, but then they're just released again on bail until further evidence.
Like right now, like if the police knocked on my door to come here and look for drugs, it wouldn't bother me at all. There's no drugs in the house. Do you know what I mean? I'm not scared of that. Knock all you want, look wherever you want, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But, so if I'm a rapper and I'm selling it like I'm a big drug dealer, I could easily get someone to phone in a tip about myself.
Yeah.
Get my. If people do this on people do this on Twitch all the time.
This is why
swatting. People swat each other.
That's
for
more dangerous though.
They can get in America it is because they can get shot.
Yeah.
But like you could people do that for bands. Like I mean, but those Twitch streamers, they're telling you they're gamers. But what if they were telling you they were gangsters?
Yeah.
Then it would look very different.
Yeah, but like just to your point there about how like Andrew Tate actually got caught, I think he's smart. That like, why would he have that pizza box like front and center?
If he's not meant to be in Romania.
Yeah, that video, like that pizza box is front and center of that camera shot, basically. Yeah. And he didn't have to do a video response to Greta Thunberg.
And
like, they were Twitter bantering.
Yeah.
Well, not really bantering, they were arguing. But, like, why did he have to do the video response? Like, and that just looks like... The cynic in me is just like, that looks like it was specifically placed there with the angle of the box straight at the camera.
Yeah.
And now it's become this big, like, meme of, like, how he got caught. Of, like, oh, it was just the pizza box confirming his position. Like, I don't know how he travels around, but, like... Surely they'd have other ways of detecting whether... If you really want to find someone, surely you'd have other ways of detecting whether they're in the country or not. I don't know, but like if he's using his actual passport to get around, that should be one way of looking. I don't know if he drives everywhere, but even if you're driving everywhere, you have to buy tickets. And
he'll say it's a private jet.
Yeah, that could also be it. But then surely you'd have records of the flight. You'd know what his jet...
But then he would say, "Oh, I've got a guy and I pay him."
Yeah,
but it all builds into more of his image. He's built an image that most young men, partly me and you included, would like to be. Rich, successful, gets girls, confident, whatever. So once he's built that image and people are going to pay to go, how do I be like you? It really doesn't matter. How many people in the fitness industry would pay for an online coach to look like whoever, Mike Thurston or whoever, and if Mike said to them, listen, I'll be honest with you, do a little bit of TRT here and there, I cycle on and off, blah, 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 blah. How many of them would say, no, that is wrong? And how many of them would go, oh, okay, and do it? Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing. Yeah. They want to be that. They are here and they want to be here. And they don't really care how they get to here. They just want to be here. Do you know what I mean?